back in the driving in the car talks. So I've been thinking of a good piece of content for everybody, as you know, I've been growing a lot, and I know a lot of you are trying to make your first $10,000 a month following me. I also have a lot of entrepreneurs that follow me that are, you know, let's say doing $500,000 a month, that are trying to get to the point where they are doing a lot more. Just saying, because that's team. But anyways, regardless with that. So here's the thing, like whether you're trying to make your first $10,000 a month or whatever stage that you're in, you know, there's always these challenges that you're going to face as you level up, especially for me, now that I've gotten to this place of kind of more the CEO role. You know, I used to be kind of like self-employed, like entrepreneur, trying to become that, you know, whatever that cool dude vibe is on social media, to where now I actually have like a lot of people that are responsible for me, and I am in charge of a lot of heads, and I've had to kind of try to excel at each different stage. And what it really boils down to is focus, and the ability to focus and be productive and constantly make progress towards the direction that you're trying to make. Because without focus, then we become this very scatterbrained, kind of like all over the place kind of mess, and not really making any clear direction. There's this diagram, I don't have a drawing that I can make, but let's say that you have 8 units of focus that you can apply. So if we're going in 8 different directions, we can only go 1 unit in direction in kind of each different phase. But if we put all 8 units into one singular direction, we're able to move 8 units in a direction rather than 1 in all of a bunch of different directions. And in order to be successful in business, is you need to be competitive. We need to be able to compete and have like a competitive edge in the market. And so when we move like one direction or 1 unit in a bunch of different directions, we're not really competitive. We don't have any sort of uniqueness to us. We're kind of just all over the place, and there's nothing really special to us. You know, and I think it's easy. We see someone like Elon Musk, he has like 10 different businesses, so we're like, oh, we need to have 10 different businesses. But Elon Musk, when he got started, he just started Zip2, which got merged with PayPal, and that was his entire focus. And where he kind of screwed up is he tried to start Tesla and SpaceX. He didn't screw up, but he almost did. He almost lost everything. Starting Tesla and SpaceX both at the same time. And he talks about in some of his interviews where he at least kind of like lost everything because he was focusing on 2 things at the same time. And he was putting in probably like over 100 hours a week to try to keep these businesses afloat. And so most of us aren't in that position where we have $100 million from a sell-off of a company, and you know, we have all this experience. So we need to pick the one thing. There's a book by Gary Keller, and he talks about the one thing. It's finding the one thing that we need to put our attention and our emphasis on and our focus on, that is going to have the maximum amount of leverage, that is going to get us to where we need to go. So first of all, we need to focus on one singular thing. And so if it's to, I don't know, let's say for the example of like you're doing sales, you want to get to where you're doing $20,000 a month. If you want to get to where you're doing $20,000 a month, you need to focus on what is the one thing that is going to get you to making $20,000 a month. And so in the sake of sales, it has nothing to do with like, let's say administrative stuff. It has nothing to do with, let's say, like what's going on with like technology or whatever may be happening. The thing that is going to make you $20,000 a month is talking to more people, hitting more contacts, making more offerings, getting to, you know, the punchline more often. It's like the most successful teams in the NFL, they did a survey and they found that like, I think it was like 90% of the time, the teams that were in the championship or like the top 4 or whatever make it to the playoffs, the teams that are 90% of the time, the teams that make it there are the ones that got to the end zone the most. So I think they call it like the red zone or whatever. So it's like the last 10 yards of scoring a goal on the football field. The teams that 90% of the time or whatever, majority of the time, the teams that made it to the playoffs were the ones that got to the end zone the most, or to the red zone the most. And so the same with like sales, is the person that makes the most amount of offers the most, the person that gets to the end zone the most, has the highest amount of at bats or the most amount of opportunities to get the sale or to get the result. And so whatever it may be, let's say that it's building a YouTube channel, as I talk about YouTube a lot, is when it comes to YouTube, it's what is the metric there that's going to give you the most opportunities to succeed, which is getting a video uploaded. The more amount of uploads that you have, the more amount of experience you're going to have, and then also the more amount of opportunities you're going to have to get the result. And so, you know, you can always try to like maximize for perfection and like making really high quality videos, but regardless, any stage that you're at, whether you're making like a video that's $5,000 a video, $50,000 a video, or $50 a video, or you're doing it for free, the thing that's going to get you the most probability of results is making the most amount of videos and hitting upload and having the most amount of at-bats. And so if you can optimize for your, like, let's say in the sake of the YouTube example, you know, maybe you could have one channel that's your quality channel, and then another channel where you're just constantly getting that output, so then you can have more at-bats. Like, this video is going to go on one of my channels that's more just reps rather than just making quality content. A lot of YouTubers do this. Like, if you guys know Hamza, he did this for a while. He had like one channel that says high quality channel, and then he had another channel where he just would upload every day whatever was on his mind, and he had both. So then he was able to have maximum amount of reps. I do that with Twitter a lot. I like Twitter because I can have a maximum, like I can just rep out a lot of times. I get a lot of reps, I see a lot of results, I get a lot of feedback, I get a lot of data, and then I can I get a lot more viral content because I'm in the zone of creating content a lot. And so it's finding that one thing. First of all, it's finding the one goal that you're trying to achieve. You know, so for me, it's like leads is the metric that I'm trying to shoot for. So like right now I'm trying to get to where I get like 200 leads a day. And so if I get to 200 leads, like as far as like then I can kind of convert it. How many views do I need to get on social media to get X amount of leads? So you need to find what is it that is like kind of the one thing that's going to help you get to your goal, and then figuring out what are the actions to doing it. So for me, it's like if I want to get to 200 leads a day, then I need to create so much content, I need to get so much reach. You know, I found it's like whatever, I have to get 200,000 views to get X amount of leads. You need to find what that metric is. Like Spotify, theirs is like the amount of hours watched. That was their KPI. And I think Netflix had a very similar one as well. Theirs was like how many hours watched. So it's like you want to find what is that one singular metric, that one singular KPI, key performance indicator, that metric that as soon as you maximize that, it is inevitable for you to be successful or at a certain point where you are getting said result. And I think a lot of people, they always try to do like what's the bare minimum to achieve that result, but instead you want to do it to the point where it's like you overdo it so much that it's inevitable that you will become successful. So for me, you know, it's like in order, let's say if I need to do $1 million a month, then I need to move, let's say like, I don't know, let's say 150 units or something like that, you know. And if I need to move 150 units, then it's like I need to make, let's say I need to make sure that there's like 1,000 sales calls a month. And so instead of just shooting for 1,000 sales calls a month, then I'm going to optimize all my metrics to doing, let's say like 1,500, like going that extra level above what the metric is that we need to shoot for. If you're running to make $10,000 a month on YouTube, you know, you need to get to, let's say like 2 million views a month. But if you're just shooting for 2 million views a month, then a lot of times we'll undershoot if we're just shooting for 2 million. So instead of shooting for 2 million views a month, what the better option is to shoot for 10 million views a month. And striving for the 10 million and creating the content, like making videos that are going to, like if you're uploading, let's say like 20 videos a month, then try to shoot for, let's say like at least like 3 to 4 million view videos a month. And when you do that, or let's say 5 million view videos a month, and when we're shooting for that, we're way overshooting whatever the $10,000 metric needs. And it's allowing us to set up for, if let's say we underperform, we under-succeed, then we still at least get 2 million views a month and we hit our original goal. But if we do hit this, like, you know, the stretch goal, then we're able to overproduce and we're able to actually make, let's say, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. So we shoot for whatever the minimum is that we need to hit the floor. And regardless, we're trying to raise the ceiling at the same time. So we want to make sure that our minimum is like, it's covering all the bases, you know, we're breaking even, we're in the gray. But, you know, we're setting our metrics up so we're going to be wildly profitable. We're going to be super in the green. We're going to be making way more money than we really like set out for originally. And so at each different phase, at each different level of like your growth and your development, is you want to figure out what that metric is. Like, what's that goal that you're working towards? What's the metric that's going to get you towards that goal, and optimizing towards that goal. And you follow that and you will be more successful than your wildest dreams. I will say it can be difficult sometimes. Like sometimes I will spend like a week or a month just to figure out what that thing is, like what is the priority. And it takes me a little bit to kind of get around to it as I kind of get to these different phases and developing different businesses, etc. And so you want to figure out what that thing is, optimize towards it, and success will be inevitable. So Wish you all lots of success. You all become a millionaire watching this. I'm helping 1,000 people become a millionaire. So if you want to be one of them, shoot me a follow.